a Scopist is someone who receives both text and audio from a court reporter. The court reporter may be an official, meaning that they work inside the courts, or they may be a deposition reporter, meaning that they take freelance depositions with attorneys. And all of these people may need Scopus at some point. Right now, a lot of court reporters, a lot of voice writers are needing Scopists, and that has a lot to do with the fact that there's an enormous court reporter shortage. And so these court reporters are working nonstop and really don't have a whole lot of time to create the actual transcripts that they need to create. And so the purpose for this class is to provide Scopus that they can rely upon and utilize to help get their transcripts done. So we are going to talk about the basics of what the site is about, how to get around in the site, how to contact me or someone else that if you need some assistance. And just in general, we're going to go through the computer skills course just to touch on why you need to know those things. And then I'll quickly introduce you to the Scopist course. And that's where we're going to spend the majority of our time next week. I'd like to start with the logging into the course. Some of you have and some of you have not. So I'm going to clear my screen and go to the site, which is www.audioscribecontinuingeducationportal.com. What you're looking at here while we're waiting for my browser to respond was the ACE YouTube channel. And you will be getting a link the day after every course. And that link is going to lead you to the recording of that class. So should you miss a class, you can always go and watch it again. Even if you don't miss a class, you can go and watch it again. So here we are. It totally skipped the login page, but the login page is where you enter your first initial and last name in all lowercase letters, no spaces between them. And then your password is your last name, uppercased, just initial capped, I'm sorry. And then the @ and the year 2018. I know that many of you have logged in. So if any of you have not logged in, but would like or are having problems logging in, please let me know, and I'll be happy to help you with that. The first thing we're going to do is just notice that on the left-hand side, there is this list. You'll see it says Home, Dashboard, Calendar, Private Files, My Courses. You are not going to see all of the courses that I see, but you are going to see the courses that you are enrolled in. Some of you are enrolled in multiple courses, so you're going to see more than the others. But all of you that are enrolled in this Scopist course should see the orientation, computer skills, and Scopist. So we're going to start with the orientation over here. Once you're in the class that you're doing, if you'll notice here to the left of the blue block that says ACE, you'll see this little block with 3 lines on it. If you'll click on it one time, you'll notice that your left-hand view disappears. You don't have to do that, but if you're looking at something and it's got images and you want to see more real estate on your desktop, you can just click on that button, and clicking on it again brings your menu right back up. The very first thing I talk about is the software that we use to communicate with you, and the places that you can go to find out more information. The AudioScribe forum is a place where you can find a lot of information about all of our various applications and Dragon. The AS Facebook page is our AudioScribe Facebook page, and it'll tell you where we're going to be, what we're up to, what we're doing. If you, right now, within the next week, you'll see a notification about convention in Myrtle Beach. We never miss NVRA convention. We are always there, and we do seminars on the Monday and Tuesday, and we're there for the whole week, and we hope to see some of you there. It's a wonderful opportunity to meet other people that are voice writers, other people that are doing business inside this industry, and I hope to be able to go there this year with lots of your names ready and willing to accept work. I'm hoping that you'll all be accepting work way before then, but that is in June this year, so I'm giving you a little bit of leeway time to get prepared, and I hope you will be prepared by then, because there are a lot of people who need help. The AudioScribe Trailblazer support page is a great place to ask questions. You can ask questions of Michelle and I. You can also ask questions of our actual users. They're a wonderful group of people. They're always willing to help. And so please consider joining that support page. We'd be happy to grant you access. Just let me know. And then there is an AudioScribe YouTube channel as well as an ACE YouTube channel. The AudioScribe YouTube channel is public, meaning that anybody can see it. The ACE is public as well, but we don't publicize it. We only give that link to people who are taking courses. But both of those YouTube channels are a wealth of information in video format. This next section is just telling you what you can expect when you see these icons over here on the right. Obviously, a book is something that you need to read. A picture is pretty obvious. Terminology is really important because we speak a different language. We use terms that you may not be familiar with. So reading the terminology is going to help you to understand what we're talking about when we use terms that you're going to be unfamiliar with perhaps in the beginning. A quiz is obviously a quiz. There are never more than 10 questions per quiz, with the exception of the computer skills pretest. The assignment is always going to be something that I'm asking for you to do. Videos are something that I'm asking you to watch. And supporting documentation is what we call, they're all PDF documents. PDF documents can be viewed with most Windows 8 and 10 applications will come with a free PDF viewer. We prefer Adobe Reader, and it is free. I guess what I need to do is add a place for you to download it. I'll do that this week. That's just so that you can view our supporting documentation, our PDF files. Those are things you may want to print out and put into a binder so that you have ready access to them. The course creators and instructors, you have several of us online with you tonight. I am a course creator. Michelle Gilbo is a course creator. Diane Lane is a course creator. I don't know if Vicki is here tonight. Vicki is a course creator as well. And we all have different courses. There are a lot of courses that Michelle and I co-author because she's amazing, and always helps me out and makes me look smarter, I think, when she goes back over my courses. So we're
Aw, shucks.
It's just because you're wonderful. Your courses, we've already talked about how they're going to show up on your dashboard on the left. What you will need. I went and edited this today because I realized that it was really written for voice writers, and I had not specified that you guys as Scopus do not need these super powerful computers. Voice writers need them because using Dragon in real time to translate voice to text while recording multiple channels of audio takes a heck of a machine. You guys do not need all that power. If you can install remote Scopist, you're fine. So no worries there. And I apologize for not doing that in advance of some of you seeing that, because I know it was a little bit off-putting.
I think, Adria, too, the Windows 10 Professional, I'm not sure that they need to have Professional with remote Scopist.
They don't. You're absolutely right.
Because Melissa asked that question today, and so I thought I'd point that out while you were doing that.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. Again, voice writers are way different than Scopus, and Scopist will absolutely run on Windows 7, 8, or 10 home for sure, because I've installed it on plenty of computers and they're all working with it. So no worries there. The only software you're really going to need is the Scopist application and a word processor or Bullzip. So Microsoft Word 2013 or higher will work. Corel WordPerfect, I think it'll work all the way back to X6, possibly. It really depends on the operating system you're running. Bullzip is a free software that you can download that negates the need for a word processor. You guys do not need Dragon. You do not need an audio input device, nor do you need microphones. What you need is a good headset. And we recommend a headset that you can buy online for like $24 or $26. And it allows you to listen to stereo files. You can also use your earbuds. The only difference is that if you're hearing any stereo files, you're going to hear channel 1 in your left ear and channel 2 in your right, instead of hearing the same thing in both ears. But you'll only hear one at a time, so it shouldn't be too confusing. Here is where we talk about the programs that we use with live lessons. We use TeamViewer mostly to dial in. So if you need assistance and you're having a hard time getting your point across as to what it is the problem that you're having is, then often me and Michelle will say, well, can I dial in? And we can sometimes dial in and look at what's going on and resolve it in a minute or two. Sometimes I think Michelle still might use Join Me. I don't. Every once in a great while I'll use GoToMeeting, but for the most part we're using Zoom now, which is what you're using right this minute. This next part just talks about how you get the help that you need. Please feel free to Skype me any questions that you have. I have Skype on my computers, on my phone, so no matter where I am, I can get a Skype message. And if you're stuck on something and you're trying to get something accomplished, just Skype me. Usually I can answer your question in less than a minute and you can move on and I can be done. So no worries there. You also can email me, and you can see that right here. It lists what courses we each teach, we specialize in. Michelle is also a huge help. So if ever you email me and you don't get an answer quick enough, it might be that I'm at a conference. You can always copy Michelle and you'll have twice the chance of getting answered. And if it's anything like today, we'll both answer you. So the next thing is about RealTime Coach. This really is for voice writers, so you don't have to worry about it. Here I'm just talking about how you report issues. If you find something, and I had a few people find some things that were incorrect, and they were wonderful about sharing that information with me. I am so far from perfect. I make plenty of mistakes, and I want to know where my mistakes are. I think Michelle definitely would agree. We want to make this the best possible learning platform that it can be. And so when you see a problem, please do email me or Skype me and let me know where the problem is. If it's a quiz that, you know, the answer is incorrect or whatever, you just need to let me know so that I can go and fix it. So you can email me or Michelle. So now I'm going to click on this little button up here on the left so that I can bring my dashboard back. And I'm going to move on to computer skills. Now, the whole purpose for the computer skills course is to make sure that you know enough to move around on this platform and accomplish the tasks that we ask of you. So we're basically introducing the Windows 10 operating system here. It's not a problem if you don't have Windows 10. There are some things that are still going to apply to you, especially if you have Windows 8. If you have Windows 7, some of this is going to be absolutely Greek to you. And I'm sorry?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your screen, is it just me or is the screen not moving for anyone else?
I'm stuck on the original ACE orientation.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know.
All right.
Do you see it now?
Yes. I do. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right.
I appreciate that very much. I didn't have my chat window open. I guess that's the problem. Oh, okay. I opened it now. But thank you for letting me know, Connie. I appreciate that. Okay, so the basic computer skills begins with the prerequisite exam. You only have to take it if you don't want to take the course. If you are using Windows 7, it may be, like I said, it may be absolute Greek to you. And you can go ahead and take the course. Maybe you'll learn something that will help you, and maybe you won't. You can skip it as well. It's not the end of the world. If you need assistance and you're using Windows 7, just let me know. There are a lot of things in this course. Backing up your settings, your desktop, those things are important. Setting your preferences and uninstalling extra programs, that's mostly for the voice writers because they really need to run a tight system so that they get great performance. For you, you have extra software, it's no big deal. If you are already a transcriber, you may have other software on your system like Express Scribe. Not a problem. No worries. Don't have to uninstall it. It's all good. It should still work fine for you. The maintaining PC health is just that. It's giving you an idea of how to take care of your system so that it performs as well as it can for you. Now I am going to go to Scopist. And this is where the fun is. So right at the beginning, I basically explain what a Scopist is for those of you who don't know, and what skills you need to be a successful Scopist. Most of you, I believe, have already downloaded, installed, and registered your remote Scopist application. Dropbox is something that I suggest you install because reporters are going to get work to you via Dropbox. And it would be very beneficial if you had your own Dropbox. That way, if you wanted to, you could say, here's my Dropbox. You can always load it there. They may just tell you to use their Dropbox, and you may not need Dropbox. But I always like to be prepared, and it doesn't hurt to have it. And the smallest increment of Dropbox is free. So It doesn't hurt you to get it. Now, during this next week, what I'd really like for you all to do is go through this part of the remote Scopist where you're going to see the main menu and the different screens that you're going to be seeing as you go through the Scopus program. Also, I'd like for you to go through the terminology so that you know what we're talking about. And if you do that, I'm actually thrilled. That's all you need to do for next week's class. If you want to get ahead, you can view the video on Remote Scopist. This video is actually kind of long because it was the first class that I did for Remote Scopist, and it was, I think, a year or two ago. So, but it's still, the Scopist works the same way. And so I'd like for you to go ahead and watch that video. I'd like for you to go through styles, display sets, and print sets as well. I do have styles for you to download. What I'd like for you each to do is let me know by email or by Skype at some point in this next week where you are, what state you're in, and I will send you a style that works for your state. Now, the beautiful thing about being a remote Scopist is that you do not have to be anywhere near the court reporter, physically speaking. Because of Dropbox, the court reporter can upload things to you, text you or email you and say, go ahead and download this job for me. You can download it and work on it. If you have any questions, you email the court reporter. They're usually very helpful. A court reporter is looking for someone who is reliable, someone who has good English punctuation skills, someone who has great attention to detail. That's really important. And I would say that reliability is also one of the highest things on the list. Over the years, I've talked to many court reporters who have been disappointed with Scopus and transcribers not being reliable. So the one thing that I can suggest to you is that when the time comes to be paired up with a mentor, a court reporter, I ask that you make a commitment and stick to it. These people work really, really hard and they need the help, and they don't really have time to dilly-dally with someone who is not serious about the job. So I hope to prepare you to understand and utilize the remote Scopist application to the greatest extent possible. I'm going to teach you all the tricks and tips. And for those of you who have had training as court reporters or former court reporters, you don't need any assistance with learning punctuation and court reporters English, most likely. However, those of you who are starting fresh in this industry may need that. And fortunately, we have someone with us tonight, Diane Lane, who is working on a court reporter's English class. And for those of you who feel a little unsure of your punctuation, grammar, court reporter's English skills, I'm hoping that she will take on a cadre of you to go through her court reporter's English class as a pilot. So please let us know if that's something that you are interested in and know you're interested in advance. That way Diane can know who is willing and able to be a guinea pig for her when the time comes. So that's it in a nutshell. That's what we're going to be doing. Does anyone have any questions at all?
I have one comment, Adria.
Please.
When we talk about them needing a word processor, do you think that their court reporter is going to kind of require the kind of word processor that they have if they need Word or Word Perfect?
That's a really great point. And Michelle's right about that. A court reporter may work in Word or may work in Word Perfect, but also it really is dependent, and a lot of this isn't going to make sense to some of you right now, but what a court reporter is going to send you is her or his raw text that was created as they were dictating in real time. You're also going to have the audio of the reporter's voice and the audio of the room. So as you are looking through the text they provide you, you're going to be able to listen to their voice. And if you don't understand something they say, you can switch to the live room, or you can listen just to the live room and make sure that their text matches what was said in the live room. Some court reporters want you to send them back the document once you've gone through it twice and made the changes. They're done. That's all they want you to do, and they'll finish the rest of the transcript. Other court reporters want you to go ahead and complete the transcript, which means creating the index file and dropping it into either a word processor or a PDF to create a PDF document. So that's very true. Michelle's absolutely right there. But until you meet your court reporter, the one that is the perfect fit for you, or the several that are the perfect fit for you, you really won't know what their preferences are. And in truth, both Microsoft Word and Corel Word Perfect read rich text format documents. And so as long as you know how to utilize a word processor, I think you're going to be fine. And almost everybody knows how to use a word processor. The one that is your preference, I don't think it's going to be all that big of a deal. You're going to learn a little bit about both Microsoft Word and Corel Word Perfect in this class. And you can always make the decision as to what to use. You're also going to learn how to create a PDF document. And so you'll be able to put all of this on your Scopist resume as to what you know how to use. And I can assure you that there's enough work out there for every single one of you in this class to be very busy as much as you want to be busy, just by hooking up with one or two court reporters. But there are plenty more. Some people have multiple court reporters that they work for. So it really is up to you. You can work as little as you want or as much as you want. And you can choose someone who is a good fit to you. And I am hopefully going to have plenty of court reporters' names to introduce you to and to pair you up with when you're ready for that. Anything else? Anyone else?
Adria, Julie Goudros.
Hi.
Put something in chat, a question.
Are the classes taken on your own schedule? Yes, they are. The only thing that is set is this class. Tuesday evenings, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern. Everything else you do when you feel like doing it. Doesn't matter the time of day or night, ACE is always available.
And may I say one thing else, Adria?
Of course.
It would not allow me to use my microphone, so I could not speak when you were talking about the English class.
Oh, yes, please.
And I would absolutely love for someone to do a pilot class there. So whenever they get ready and whenever you are at that point, please, I will get busier than I already am and make sure that it's
Awesome. You are amazing. Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much. We do have several people that are new to this industry in this class. And actually, I would like to take the class too, Diane.
Oh, wow. Put the pressure on. Go ahead.
Trust me, no pressure. I have
Oh.
so much to learn when it comes to punctuation in English.
It's nice for me to have this refresher. It's been many, many years since I had to get on this level with it. So, but I'm really enjoying it and would welcome anyone, absolutely. And I'm always open to feedback because that's how I get better. So I really appreciate it.
I want to join too. This is Michelle.
I saw that. I was oh dear. Well, you're always welcome, Michelle. Always.
Diane, would you mind, from a court reporter's perspective, speaking a little bit about your experience with Scopist and transcribers and what you think a court reporter most wants and needs in a Scopist?
I have no problem speaking about that because they have saved me on many, many occasions over several decades. I have had a typist as far back as 30 years ago, and that was for federal grand jury, and I could not have done it without her because it took both of us working as hard as we could. And then, of course, as the technology improved and audio scribe came along and we have this whole new way of doing things, it just really became more important. Being absolutely upfront with someone, you've got to have communication with each other. And if life gets in the way, which it inevitably will, then you need to let the person know so that they're not depending on you at that particular moment in time. And if there's anything that you don't understand, to be able to ask about it or ask for clarification, especially when you're getting started, there'll be a lot of little things to work out. But Scopus are absolutely worth their weight in gold. And we appreciate you so much. You have no idea. There's just not enough hours in the day. And it takes a long time. Used to be in the old days, it was a ratio of about 5 hours of transcript preparation time for every single 1 hour of takedown. And now, depending on the reporter and with the help of the software and everything becoming so much improved, it's incredible. It's probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2 at the most, for every 1 hour of takedown. So it's a symbiotic relationship. You help the reporter, and the reporter will help you. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to. I wasn't prepared for that, Adria, so if you want to ask me something, that's okay.
I'm sorry. I always put you on the spot.
Well, that's just because I like to talk, and I have no problem with that.
There you go. I got you to say it. Okay.
Well, yes. I
would like to ask you one other question that several people have asked me, and I didn't know how to respond because I've never been a Scopist, nor have I ever had a Scopist. So several people have asked me, what does a Scopist, or what is the earning capacity of a Scopist?
It's per page. And as you know, I am now retired, so I haven't really used a Scopist for the last, 6 years, 7 years. And it's dependent upon what the reporter charges. And in different areas of the country and in different classifications of courts or in an out-of-court setting in a deposition, freelance reporters set their own rates, and then they will pay their Scopist accordingly. If you work with an agency, the agency, of course, determines the rates and the reporter would then be still responsible for paying the Scopus. But in the past, when I had someone that I absolutely depended on every day for 7.5 years, she put her daughter through college while she was typing for me and then beginning to scope. So if a page rate in Georgia is now approximately $4, $4.50 per page for a deposition, and it is $6 per page for a court transcript, the court reporter would get either a percentage of that through an agency or would get the entire amount if she's an official in court. And then the Scopus would be certainly a portion up to at least half of a page rate. And there are different rates as far as turnaround time. You normally get anywhere from 30 days in a court setting to an overnight rush, and the rates go up accordingly. So you have a standard rate, and then you have an expedited rate, and then you have a daily rate. And the Scopist also, if you sit up all night long, you're going to be getting double or triple your normal page rate as well as the reporter who turns in the transcript. Does that clarify anything, or did I muddy the waters?
No, I think that was wonderful. Thank you very much. That's wonderful.
Well, I have done a little bit of scoping, and when I did, it was $1 a page, but expedites were $3 a page.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but you know, I'm slow, so I didn't make but like $10. I'm sorry. So that's why I don't do it.
How accurate, Michelle, how accurate was your writer?
Probably about 80%.
Okay.
But my problem was verbatim, and what was there was about 80%, but there were things that weren't there. Like every time the attorney said, all right, and then started the question. So being literal as I am, I added all of that in.
Well, isn't that what's required?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
Verbatim
So,
does not
yes.
mean almost. It's like
Yes.
you'd be a little bit pregnant. Verbatim does not mean.
Anyway, so yes, so I was literal. So, I added a lot of things in that weren't there. So anyway.
Most people,
also, Michelle, it should be said that you did that in addition to this job.
Oh yes, I had a full-time job, and I'm not a good typist, and so the last transcript that I did when I decided that I was not doing it anymore, there was a bench conference where they went into judge's chamber, and I had to type 30 pages from scratch because she left her equipment in the courtroom and bought a digital recorder. I was like, oh, this is not even worth. That's when I decided it wasn't worth it, because if I had to type 50 pages for it was like almost 40 minutes. I was like, it wasn't worth my time. So I turned in what I had to the court reporter, who was just trying me out, and she's like, you're really, really good. What you did was good. I was like, well, that's fine, but I'm not going to work for 5 cents an hour. I was like, I'm sorry, but anyway.
No sorry about it. It's true.
Yeah.
I do want to say this. Probably anywhere between $1.25 and maybe up to $2.75 or $3. It depends on how good a scopist you are.
Yes.
And it also depends on how quickly you turn it around. And if you're always dependable, they being the reporter, will not be able to get along without you.
Right.
And they are going to pay you what you are worth, which is a huge amount, but you may be able to scope up to 30, 40 pages an hour. I've seen that done. And it depends again on the reporter and the proceedings. I will tell you that if you've got 10 people screaming over each other, that's going to be a nightmare for anyone to do. And you will not get many pages per hour. But if you've got someone who, say it's in a court setting and the judge controls the court and he will not allow someone to speak over someone else, there's no reason in the world you couldn't get in excess of 20, 30, or 40 pages scoped per hour.
Very good. Very good. Do any of you have any questions? Because we actually have a few court reporters with us tonight. So if any of you have any questions about scoping or court reporting or working with court reporters, now's the time to ask. I also would like to point out that just about everyone wants to take your class, Diane. So what we might do is just
Oops.
go from Scopist right into court reporters English. What you think?
I think that's great.
Woohoo!
Woohoo. Okay. So does that mean tomorrow or do I have a little bit of time? No.
Oh, you
No
got 6
pressure,
weeks.
no pressure.
6 weeks, Diane. 6 weeks.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I love that. That would be fabulous.
Okay.
I do have a question for some of the people who are court reporters that are listening. If I was totally off base saying up to, in a really, really good situation, 30 or 40 pages an hour scoping, I would like for them to tell me that that's no longer in the cards. I want to make sure that I've got accurate information now.
There's also a question, will a voice writer only receive material from voice writers and steno from steno writers? I guess what you mean, will a scopist that is working for voice writers only receive material from voice writers and steno from steno writers? We don't deal with steno at all. Not at all. And there is no plan. I mean, unless I die and Michelle takes over and changes her mind, you know. But it will be a cold day in Hades before any audio scribe software is designed to work with steno. Not happening.
Okay.
Agreed.
Even when I'm dead, huh, Mitch?
Nope. Or how they say that in French, pas du tout.
That's right. So we have plenty of voice writers to keep every one of you busy, actually. So no worries there. We've got people lined up and tapping their foot waiting. So you will all have work if you want it. I thank you all for joining us this evening. And I look so forward to next week when we actually get into the meat and potatoes of Scopist. I encourage you all to stay in touch with me and feel free to make posts on the Skype group, because I really like it when everyone talks there. That way, when you ask a question, believe me when I tell you, somebody else in the class has that same question, but is just too shy to type it. So please, please ask questions so that everybody can see it. That way, I'm not answering the same question 16 times. Thank you again all for making time tonight. I'll see you all next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.